إن الحمد لله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نستعينه. Can you guys hear me in the back? إن الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. We praise Allah, we seek His guidance and forgiveness. We seek guidance with Allah from the evils of our own selves. Whoever Allah guides, none can misguide. And whoever He leads astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a slave and messenger. This week, a small calamity befell our friends and family in Lebanon, Beirut, where they had an explosion that destroyed a majority of the city and changed the situation, an ordinary day, a routine day, completely upside down. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve our brothers and sisters in Lebanon, Beirut. The element of change can happen so quickly, from one moment to the next. Let me relate to you the story of the two farmers in Surah Al-Kahf, where one of them was wealthy, he had a lot of land, he had a big network, he knew a lot of people. And let me tell you about the farmer that had just a little bit of land. The man that had a lot of land, he said, oh, I have all this land because of my skill set, because of my network, because of the things that I did, and because of my intelligence in business. And the farmer that had a little bit of land, he would tell them, fear Allah, thank Allah for what you have, until one night a storm comes into the valley and takes out this man's wealth with the snap of a finger. All and everything that he built, gone overnight. All and everything that he built, gone in a storm. All of his connections, his friends, family, all of his intelligence, all of his money could not revert or reverse the calamity that he was in. Why am I talking about the two farmers? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave us advice. In the hadith that said, take advantage of 5 before 5. Take advantage of your youth before your old age. And take advantage of your health before you fall sick. And take advantage of your richness before you become poor. And take advantage of your free time before you become busy. And take advantage of your life before your death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-An'am, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. My prayers, my acts of worship, my living and my dying are for no one except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at the youth, and if you're older, if you remember yourself in your youth, it's a very limited time where you have more energy, where you have stronger mental faculties. Maybe as we age, we start forgetting more things, or as we age, we used to be able to walk 1 mile, now we can only walk half a mile. Abu Hanifa alayhi salam suggested for us that in our youth we should take advantage of using it for 3 things. One of them is to seek knowledge. The knowledge of Tawheed, the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second one is to learn some type of a trade, to use your youth to work, to become a benefit to the community. And the third is to use the knowledge of your deen, the knowledge of the religion, and to use your trade to create a family that's going to increase the community and members. Youth has changed over time, and there has been an evolution where people think that youth ends at 18 or 19 or 20, but according to our creed, it's something that goes all the way to 40. So anyone that takes advantage of those first 40 years of their life, there's a guarantee for them. Use your youth to remember God, and use your youth to get close to God, and use your youth to spend some time in the houses of God. Because in the hadith it says, whoever takes advantage of their youth, seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be shaded in the shade of the 7 shades on the day of judgment when there is no shade except his shade. Take care of your health before you're sick. When we started 2020 and everyone was thinking about the things they wanted to improve, or whatever your dreams and aspirations and your resolutions were, nobody would have thought that COVID-19 would have the effect on our society the way that it had. It affected every facet of life. So someone who was never attending Jum'ah before this pandemic befell, all of a sudden he wants to come to Jum'ah while this pandemic is going on. Would it not have been better for him if he would have sought the Jum'ah all the way through that process before it ever hit? An opportunity to use our health, our physical fitness, to worship Allah. An opportunity to make salat, an opportunity to make hajj if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us to make them, right? Because our physical health will decline over time. Someone who's able to do certain things in their youth, they will learn very quickly that this will start going backwards as they grow older, or you will feel that things that you used to be able to do, now you need more recovery time to do them. Use your health before your sickness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas kulu mimman fil ardi tayyiban. Oh people, eat what's in the ground that's good for you. When we look at the etiquette and the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the 3 primary exercises that I could find was that he was someone who wrestled, he was someone who walked, and he's someone who raced. And each one is backed up by a hadith. He would race Sitna Aisha. He would walk so fast that the companions would not be able to keep up with him. And he was challenged by someone to wrestle him, who ended up accepting Islam, and he was considered one of the best wrestlers that was living in the Arabian Peninsula at the time. Take care of your body. A third for food, a third for drink, a third for air. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that easy for us. A companion came and he said, I'm poor, I need something. And Yunus ibn Ubayd, he came and said, okay, you feel that you're poor. Well, how about I trade you your sight for some money? And he said, no, I can't give you my eyes for money. He said, how about I'll take your hand for some money? And he said, I'm not going to give you my hand for some money. He said, how about you give me your feet for some money? He said, there's no way. I didn't give you my eyes and I didn't give you my hand. How am I going to give you my feet for some money? He said, then you have everything that you need. Because if you add the hand and the side and the feet, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already given us so many blessings. He's already given us so much, there's nothing we can do to make up for it. It's a true blessing. Imagine if the value of the foot, the value of the hand, and the value of sight, if you look at the value of those things, imagine that we can move them. If I want to move my hand or I want to move my foot, it's all connected to each other. The mind, the spirit, the body, they're all working in some type of a synchrony with each other to serve us to be able to do the things that we want to do. Take advantage of your richness before you become poor. And this richness is not necessarily a material wealth, but it is a value of self-contentment. Self-contentment in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me. Brothers and sisters, every day we wake up and we have certain aspirations. And those aspirations are only about the things that it is that we want to do. But little sometimes do we think about the things that we already have. That which is little and sufficient is better than that which is much and distracts. So if we have what we need and it protects us and our family, it's better than to have the glamour and the glitter of this world. Who wants to be the inheritor of this world? What is better, to be the inheritor of this world or to be the inheritor of the hereafter, of the akhirah? Richness is to take care of your family and to feed your family. Richness is to work hard to feed your family. There's no shame in working 8 hours. There's no shame in working 12 hours. There's no shame in saving. According to the narrations, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would sometimes store barley in his home for up to a year to make sure that his wife would be okay and his children would be okay, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have the upper hand. He wants us to be people who are not poor, and He wants us to be people who are not beggars. He wants us to be an increase to any community that we touch on. And if you want to attract sustenance, if you want to attract money, then give. Because you only earn what you give. You only keep what you give. Everything else becomes the wealth of inheritors. For example, children. But anything that you give, that is what you take with you to the hereafter, to the akhirah. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Munafiqun, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتُ فَيَقُولَ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَّرْتَنِي إِلَى أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ فَأَصَّدَّقَ وَأَكُنْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And spend in the way from what we have provided for you before death comes to you. And you will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a moment on this world, just a moment, to perform an act of sadaqah, to perform an act of charity. And the answer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be, وَلَا يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. But never will Allah allow a soul to come back to the earth, and Allah is all acquainted with everything that we do. Use your free time before you become busy. There are 7 calamities. And the first calamity is starvation that cripples wisdom. I become so hungry, I can't think straight anymore. The second one is old age, which may harm the senses. People are not able to hear well anymore or see well anymore. Sudden death, which has become prevalent in our society. Doomsday, Antichrist. Prosperity, wealth that may take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. An ailment that might harm you, a cure that might harm you. 7 of the calamities. How do you use your free time? You sit in front of the TV, you sit down just for a little bit, let me just watch this show and that show, and here goes 1 hour, 2 hours, let me binge watch this season. You've just gone through 8 hours of TV. How can we use our time to make it more beneficial to us? Maybe we can learn about some religious study that we haven't studied. Join a halaqah, listen to CDs, listen to videos, things of that nature, just something to stimulate our mind. But how about maybe you want to learn a new trade? Maybe you want to take up knitting. I don't know. I'm just kidding, but whatever your hobby is or whatever your passion is, maybe you want to learn something new. Take advantage of your free time, learn something new, because it might be that you can use that to benefit your community. TV is a poison, it's an addiction. And if you watch 30 minutes of CNN, you can read a quality article for 5 minutes, and it's proven that 5 minutes of reading is better than hours of news. Are you addicted? Do you watch it every day? How long do you watch it for? What is it that you're watching? Stimulate your mind in the correct way. Brothers and sisters, don't become desensitized. The more TV we watch, the more we become desensitized. The more TV we watch, the more we become desensitized to death. Because a lot of the movies are revolving around shooting and burning and killing and things of that nature, desensitizing us to calamities. There's a narration that at the time of the Battle of Uhud, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ ordered that all the people that passed away during that battle be covered up, so that people would not lose the sensitivity to death. Just a few days ago, this explosion happened in Beirut. May Allah preserve them and help them and make life easier for them. Just a few days ago. Are we able to eat today? Are we able to do the things that we do without thinking about them at all? Our scholar, Hassan al-Basri, one time somebody brought up the subject of death in front of him. He was not able to eat for 3 days. That's what I'm talking about, the desensitization of death, where even death does not affect us anymore. So if we find ourselves in a total state of desensitization, where we're just not even feeling anything anymore, maybe unplug yourself from the TV. Find some time to unplug yourself from the TV and connect differently with yourself in a way that you can get better. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. In the token of time, mankind is surely in a state of loss, except those who believe, preserve with patience, and preserve with righteous deeds. Please ask Allah for forgiveness. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلام على الذين اصطفى ثم أما بعد. The last one is to take advantage of your life before your death. Our brothers in Lebanon woke up that morning and they never thought that their world would go upside down by the end of the day. If we wake up in the morning, we don't anticipate to see the evening. And when we see the evening, we don't anticipate the morning. No one knows what they will earn tomorrow, and no one knows in what land they will die tomorrow. So the only real moment that you have is the moment that you have now. Because the past is gone, and the future has not arrived. The best time to get right with God is now. Because the explosion that happened in Beirut, if we take it as a symbolic thing, can happen in each one of our individual lives in different shapes and different forms. Someone who was young has lost their youth. Someone who was healthy became sick. Someone who was rich became poor. What's the value of time? If I told you what the value of time is, 1 year, think about a loved one you spent last Eid with, and they're not with us anymore. If you think about the value of 1 month, ask the woman who gave birth to her child 1 month early. If you ask about the value of 1 week, ask the editor of a newspaper who's supposed to put the news so that we can read it. If he's 1 week late, what happens to the news? They're no good. What's the value of 1 second? An accident. Car accidents. Oh man, this happened like last second. Man, if I would have just done this last second, I would have missed the accident. What's the value of 1 second? It's an accident happening or not. And what's the value of a millisecond? Ask someone who's an Olympic competitor sprinting down that line, going for first place, and he just missed the opportunity of the gold medal by a millisecond. That is how valuable our life is before our death. Because before we die, we might have 1 millisecond. We might have 1 second. We might have 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. How much time we have left? We don't know. But if we start now, then we can build a legacy, inshallah, that will improve ourselves and improve our community. And please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, bless our youth and make them of the righteous, make them of the carriers of the deen. Oh Allah, protect our youth from the evils that surround them, and implant Tawheed deeply into their heart. Oh Allah, please give us health, and heal our sick, and give them full shifa and the quickest recovery time possible. Oh Allah, the sustenance that you give us, let it be good and pure sustenance that is pleasing to you. Oh Allah, let me use the time that I have in this world wisely in your service. Ya Allah, please do not use me. Oh Allah, please use me and do not replace me. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نستعينه. Can you guys hear me in the back? إن الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل